The man standing in my kitchen eating cereal from my favorite bowl had killed someone. And my wife forgot to mention he was her first husband. I'd been traveling for work when Sarah said she was hiring personal security. Just temporary, she insisted over the phone. There's been some break-ins in the neighborhood, and I'm scared being alone. Made perfect sense. Sarah worked from home as a graphic designer, often late into the night. I wanted her safe. But Marcus didn't look like any bodyguard I'd imagined. 6'4", covered in tattoos, with eyes that seemed to catalog every exit in a room. He moved through our house like he owned it, which should have been my first red flag. The second should have been how comfortable Sarah seemed around him. Too comfortable. He's very professional, she assured me when I got back. Keeps his distance but stays alert. Professional. Right. That's why I found him making coffee in our kitchen at 6 a.m. wearing nothing but sweatpants, chatting with my wife like they were old friends. Something felt wrong. The way she laughed at his jokes. How she'd touch his arm when talking. The inside references I didn't understand. But I pushed down my suspicions. Sarah had never given me reason not to trust her. We'd been married 3 years, together for 5. She was my everything. Then came the night I pretended to leave for another business trip. I drove around the block and parked 2 streets over, then walked back through our neighbor's yard. The living room lights were on. I crept to the side window, my heart hammering against my ribs. They were on our couch. My couch. Sarah straddling Marcus, her hands in his hair, kissing him like her life depended on it. But that's not what destroyed me. It was what she said when they broke apart. I missed you so much, baby. 20 years was too long. 20 years. Prison sentence length. Marcus cupped her face. Worth every day knowing I'd come home to you, Mrs. Chen. Mrs. Chen. Her maiden name. The name she'd had before me. My legs gave out. I sank behind the bushes, my whole world cracking apart. Sarah had been married before. She'd never told me. Her first husband had been in prison this entire time, and now he was back, in our house, in our bed, in our life. I stumbled home to my hotel, mind racing. How long had she been planning this? Had our entire marriage been a lie? Was she just keeping me around until he got out? The next 3 days were torture. I played the devoted husband while my insides rotted. Sarah acted normal, even affectionate. Made my favorite dinner. Asked about my meetings. All while her first husband lurked in our guest room, probably laughing at what an idiot I was. I hired a private investigator. Cost me $3,000 I didn't have, but I needed the truth. The file landed on my desk like a bomb. Sarah Chen, married to Marcus Chen in 2003. He'd been convicted of manslaughter in 2004, killed a man in a bar fight. 20-year sentence. She'd been visiting him every month for 2 decades. Every month. Including the entire time we'd been together. There were photos. Sarah at the prison. Letter signed, your devoted wife. Bank records showing she'd been sending him money from our joint account. My money. My hard-earned money, keeping her real husband comfortable in prison while I worked 60-hour weeks thinking I was building our future. But the final page broke me completely. Divorce papers. She'd filed to divorce Marcus last year, not to end their marriage, but to marry me legally while he was still inside. I wasn't her husband. I was her cover story. That's when the rage hit. White-hot, consuming fury that made my hands shake. They'd made a fool of me. Used me. Stolen from me. Made me an accomplice in their sick reunion fantasy. But I'm not the kind of man who throws punches or makes scenes. I'm the kind who plans. I called Marcus's parole officer first. Turned out ex-cons aren't supposed to be carrying weapons. The illegal handgun I'd found in his bag was a parole violation. Strike one. Then I contacted my lawyer. Adultery might not matter much in divorce court, but fraud does. Especially when there's a paper trail of someone using marital assets to support their real spouse. Sarah had been stealing from me for years. Next, the IRS. Funny how Sarah had been filing taxes as a single woman all these years, claiming deductions for supporting an incarcerated spouse, while also filing jointly with me. Tax fraud is a federal crime. But the beautiful part was the insurance. Sarah had a life insurance policy on me. Big one. Taken out 6 months ago with her as beneficiary. Right around the time Marcus would have been eligible for early release. Made a girl wonder what might have happened if I hadn't found out about their little arrangement. The dominoes fell faster than I expected. Marcus got hauled back to prison within a week. Weapons charge plus association with criminal conspiracy. His parole officer was not amused. Sarah came home to federal agents serving warrants. Tax fraud, wire fraud, insurance fraud. The works. Turns out when you're legally married to 2 people and shuffling money between accounts, the government gets very interested in your activities. She called me crying, begging, trying to explain. Said she loved me too, that she'd planned to tell me everything eventually. That she just needed time to figure out how to handle Marcus. I listened to every word. Then I hung up and blocked her number. The divorce was swift. Adultery and fraud make for compelling cases. I kept the house, the car, and my dignity. Sarah kept her criminal record and a cozy federal prison cell. Ironic how she ended up joining Marcus behind bars after all. 6 months later, I'm rebuilding my life. New job, new city, new perspective. I learned that trust isn't just about love, it's about honesty, transparency, and respect. Sarah had none of those things to give. Sometimes I wonder if I should thank Marcus. If he'd stayed in prison, I might have lived my whole life as Sarah's safety net, never knowing I was married to a woman who'd never really chosen me at all. The truth might have destroyed my marriage, but it set me free from a lie I didn't even know I was living. Have you experienced something like this? Tell me in the comments.